Tonight, Fairbanks police tell Alaska's news source the man law enforcement took down and detained after disrupting Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr.'s news conference with Alaska senators will not face local charges.
Oh, that's as questions over federal charges remain. Alex Bangle did ask the man at the center of this what his intentions were.
You likely saw the story on Wednesday. RFK was visiting Fairbanks along with Senators Murkowski and Sullivan when an audible disruption broke out at a scheduled press event. We wanted to learn more about what drove the interruption and if there were any consequences.
I wasn't trying to harm anybody. In fact, quite the opposite.
We wanted to know more about the motivation that led to this on Wednesday.
You're committing genocide! Come on! You're still rebelling to listen to that! Stop!
Patrick Woolery says he's become frustrated with watching events play out overseas in Gaza.
I'm trying to draw attention to an absolutely horrendous harm.
He believes genocide has taken place in Gaza, and he wants to get the attention of Alaska's delegation and the Trump administration. Anyone he believes can make a difference.
There's very little I can do about it, but these three people all can. RFK can, in fact, put pressure on people in his administration, right? The administration he's a part of, to do something about this, and the two lawmakers can put forward legislation.
But the method Woolery used to get the attention of federal leaders instead drew the attention of local law enforcement.
FPD showed up and said they were trespassing me for 60 days, didn't know if the feds were going to charge me with anything, and let me go. So I feel actually incredibly lucky that it didn't go worse than it did.
You know, you can get a lot of trouble for bomb rushing a federal official. I hope they look at who he is, and if he deserves it, prosecute the guy.
We confirmed with Fairbanks police that Woolery was trespassed for 60 days, but that no local charges are pending. And Woolery says he hasn't heard of any federal charges yet. We reached out to the Secret Service and HHS about whether any federal charges can be expected, but have not heard back. Alex Bangle, Alaska's news source.
In Wasilla today, a landing of a Department of Public Safety aircraft in the middle of a busy street. This was on East Selden Road and involved an Alaska State Troopers plane, a Super Cub. A local resident recalls the plane flying overhead before landing just a ways down the road from him.
By the time I saw it, it was already past me. I was more concerned for the people that might be in front of me, just over that hill.
Now, officials say mechanical issues prompted the landing. Several hours later, the aircraft took off from the same road it landed on.
New data shows Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested more people in Alaska in the first 6 months of this year than they did in all of 2024. President Donald Trump signed multiple executive orders that directed the Department of Homeland Security, the agency that oversees ICE, to expand their efforts to arrest and deport undocumented immigrants. So we looked into ICE arrests here in Alaska over the past few years to find out who and how many have been taken into custody, and were they convicted or deported. You've probably seen these images of arrests in Alaska this year.
And our freedom and our liberties.
Sparking protests like this.
When immigrants are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back!
We now know, as of June 26, 2025, 33 people have been arrested by ICE in Alaska. 23 were deported or scheduled to be. Compare this to all ICE arrests in Alaska in 2024. 24 people total arrested by ICE, 10 of them deported or scheduled to be. If the trend continues, ICE arrests in Alaska will be double this year compared to last. This is according to new immigration arrest numbers provided by the Deportation Data Project at the University of California, Berkeley.
I've been practicing immigration law for more than a quarter century.
I asked Anchorage immigration attorney Margaret Stock if she'd seen any recent changes.
Well, it's changed a lot. Immigration law is supposed to be civil law, not criminal law. But over the course of my career, and particularly in recent months, it seems that the system is turning into a kind of a rump criminal law system designed to just punish people for being immigrants.
In February, Stock saw this firsthand. She represents 27-year-old Roble Salad, a Somali man arrested by ICE and detained in Alaska.
He was eligible to stay in the country and work legally, but they grabbed him anyway, and they tried to put him on a flight and kick him out of the country, and it was only because I got into federal court fast enough and I filed a writ of habeas corpus that I was able to stop them from doing that.
A writ of habeas corpus is a legal complaint that someone is being wrongfully detained. A federal court agreed with Stock, saying Salad was illegally arrested.
Because they were just basically like trying to round people up and get them out of the country to meet their quota.
The Trump administration denies setting quotas, but the president's deputy chief for policy and homeland security advisor told Fox News in May,
under President Trump's leadership, we are looking to set a goal of a minimum of 3,000 arrests for ICE every day, and President Trump is going to keep pushing to get that number up higher each and every single day.
The Cal Berkeley data shows an increasing number of deportees this year were administrative arrests of undocumented immigrants, not criminal arrests. By June 26th of 2025, 39% of people ordered for deportation have been convicted of a crime, compared to 2024, where 80% of people ordered for deportation were convicted of a crime. There was also a jump in arrests of immigrants charged with crimes but not yet prosecuted. In 2024, one person was deported with pending criminal charges. By June 26th of 2025, ICE arrested 8 people with pending charges. 5 of them were deported. We also looked into where people deported from Alaska were sent after the Trump administration authorized deportations to countries other than the country of origin. We found that of the 15 people deported from Alaska before the end of June 2025, 11 were deported to Mexico, all Mexican nationals except for 1 from Venezuela, and 1 each deported to their home countries of China, Haiti, Peru, and Chile. Again, our reporting in this story relies on publicly available data compiled by the Deportation Data Project at UC Berkeley, as we mentioned. So far, numerous attempts by Alaska's news source to reach ICE officials for more information or comment about immigration enforcement in Alaska have all gone unanswered.
All right, thank you, Augusta. Hey, from 70 and 70 degrees yesterday, we had the rain today. It's been a quick change in the weather. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joins us now with what we can expect next, Melissa.
Yeah, that storm is not going anywhere just yet. We're still going to see chances for rain again tonight into tomorrow morning as well. And the storm does have an impressive footprint. This area of low pressure covering much of the state. Strong winds as well for coastal areas, and already record rainfall from the storm in Kodiak yesterday. We're still seeing those scattered showers across South Central. Pockets of heavy rain moving up the Parks Highway tonight near Hatcher Pass and moving in across Prince William Sound. If you have plans later tonight in South Central outdoors, do be prepared for those continued chances for scattered showers. And you can see the clouds, they are widespread across the state. Live looks right now from Anchorage to Palmer showing cloudy conditions and much cooler temperatures just in the 50s today. We reached a high yesterday of 71. Still holding on to those 70s in Fairbanks and mid 60s in Southeast. And looking at the rainfall totals for tonight into tomorrow morning, holding on to those scattered showers, not as heavy though or as widespread as what we have seen today. And we will see more of that rain concentrated along Prince William Sound. Head out tonight. Again, be prepared for those showers. We'll see that through the morning commute as well tomorrow in Anchorage, starting out in the mid 50s and then warmer tomorrow afternoon, back into those low to mid 60s. We should even get some sun breaks in the mix here for the second half of the day, with those high temperatures topping out in the low to mid 60s. We do have more chances for rain in the 7-day forecast, but we have some sunshine in there as well. I'll break it down here in a few minutes.
Sounds good. All right, thank you, Melissa. You may not know it, but tonight the special session of the Alaska State Legislature continues, and the governor telling reporters he may keep it on going.
Our political reporter Will Courtney back from covering the beginning of that session in Juneau. Will, where do things stand now?
Well, it's actually a little bit complicated, so let's go point by point. The special session began on August 2nd, and though members are not meeting in Juneau right now, the session technically continues. That's because the session is currently recessed and set to return on August 19th. What'll happen then? That's largely still up in the air. But from opinions on both sides of the aisle, expectations are low. The governor has 3 bills in the legislature right now, but after speaking to members of the majority, it seems lawmakers have no appetite to take on these issues right now.
Is that because we've been through this before, time after time after time. All we need is more money. We'll get to the policy. It's just a lot of work. Getting to that policy, it's so much work, takes so much time. I'm not sure what the legislature is doing right now. There's a session, but not really.
I want to explore the governor's bills. I won't give you a yes or no. I want to explore those bills and put them through a process, whether that's the task force or the education committee, the bills are worthy of discussion. They're worth a look. We should be talking about them.
And that last lawmaker you heard from, Sitka Representative Rebecca Himshoot, she's the co-chair of the new Task Force on Education Funding. That task force meets for the first time on the 25th, and that's 6 days after the session is set to meet. I asked what would be on the target of discussion for that meeting, and she said it wouldn't be the governor's bills.
Thanks so much for your reporting, Will. And Will, we mentioned at the top about the governor possibly calling the session back. We're wondering, can that happen?
Yeah, can it happen? Yes, it definitely can happen. That's how we got here in the first place, right? But whether it will happen, the answer we got from the governor at the end of one of his press conferences was possibly. Like we've mentioned before, the end of the session is going to be September 1st. So there's this deadline of 30 days that's already going to be split in half by the next time they come back. They can be called back in by the governor for another special session. That's something we do know. But will he? Time is going to be the determiner on that. And first, we need to make it through this special session.
All right, Will, thanks so much for that reporting. Much to follow with that. And now we're back with a brand new edition of We the People.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight's focus, the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. As America gets ready to celebrate its 250th birthday, we here at Channel 2 are looking at our own history.
Yeah, this month, Justin Mattson joins us at the digital desk. He's got the records of our past.
That's right. This month's We the People is focusing on a project that is still yielding results to this day. I spoke with two gentlemen who were with the Trans-Alaska Pipeline from the very beginning.
Oh, it was very much nomadic, and we would move as the work required it. The other thing at that point in time as well, the communications network was non-existent along the routing. So all we had to communicate was just elementary radio communications.
It was camp life. We had the construction camps up and down the pipeline right away. And like I say, I was in a camp called Chandler up in Brooks Range. And then I was in a construction camp near Glen Allen.
Where everyone was really highly motivated. And the esprit de corps, I think, is the one thing that impressed me.
One day, I had to go see a crew about an issue that they were stopped on. And so they said, get in a helicopter and go out there and fix it. So I got in a helicopter, and at that time, it was the 70s, and the helicopter pilots were all former they're veterans from the Vietnam era. So they're trained to fly helicopters as if they're getting shot at.
We covered a lot of ground in a relatively short period of time, but the thought that was in all of our minds was it was truly a pioneering effort, and that we knew that the project was something that was going to be very significant.
My family, came from a little tiny town, East Texas, Rusk, and they were all amazed. And I remember the little county newspaper wrote an article that said, Dave Norton is working on the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. How about that?
And it was really a one in a lifetime situation. And that, coupled with the idea that the project turned out to be, in my view, very successful, was tremendously rewarding. So I really feel that I was fortunate to be able to be a part of all of that.
Through 2024, the Trans-Alaska Pipeline carried more than 18.8 billion barrels of Alaska North Slope crude from the North Slope to Valdez. Justin Mattson, Alaska's news source.
Such an interesting story.
Love it.
Yeah, and check out This Week in Alaska History.
Yeah, you can do that by clicking on the We the People tab on our streaming platforms. This week, a giant mural and the birth of the Wasilla Hustler.
All interesting. Love those flashbacks. Now, coming up, we're going to flash forward, take a look at what you can expect for weather for the rest of this week, heading into next week. But first, take a look at those daylight hours. It's getting to be that time of year where we're not seeing much differentiation in the daylight time across the state. Sun setting at 10:19 in Anchorage, 10:37 in Fairbanks, 9:01 in Juneau, and 11:04 in Bethel.